Shemel Shush, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Because all the blessings that we're going to get, which is entailing the kingdom of heaven, Isaiah the 60th chapter, I'm going to start at the 10th verse and read on down. It says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. So the sons of strangers, that's talking about the actual strangers, the other nations, shall build up thy walls. We're going to have them in slavery. So they're going to be building the kingdom of heaven, because we're not building nothing. We're not lifting a hand to move nothing. It says, for in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. That's talking about the actual Gentiles. We're going to take all of their substance, and that their kings may be brought.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Verse 13. And the glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, the box together to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. So the land of Israel, the land of Jerusalem, is going to be made glorious. It's going to be made glorious once again. The kingdom is going to be built up. We had a taste of that during the time of Solomon's reign, which was for about 40 years. Verse 14, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. And they shall call thee the city of the Lord. The word Zion means monument, the monument of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shall suck the breasts of kings, meaning we're going to take all their substance. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord thy power, the Lord and thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. For brass I will bring thee gold, and for iron I will bring thee silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. And I will make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and the power thy glory. The sun shall no more go down, meaning our kingdom is not going to go down. In other words, once we get back in power, we're going to be in power forever. The sun is never going to go down on our kingdom again. The sun is never going to set on our kingdom. We're going to always shine, and we're going to always be in that glory once we get into the kingdom of heaven. There's no more going back into slavery under the other nations. Esau's not going to rise back up and put us in captivity. Ham, Japheth, Ishmael, none of the other nations are going to rise up and take us down ever again. When we get on top this time, we're going to remain on top. Neither shall thy moon withdraw itself, for the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. So no more mourning, no more crying, no more vexation of spirit, no more weeping, no more hopelessness because of the condition that we're in as Israelites right now. Verse 21, thy people also shall be all righteous, they shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. Verse 22, a little one shall become 1,000. This is in the kingdom. So what is this talking about? We're going to have sex. Again, like I said, the 2/3 that are going to pass in this destruction, the 2/3 are going to come back through the 1/3 that make it. The Lord said, 2/3 shall be cut off and die, and the third will I bring through the fire. It says, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scripture through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And I want to get into this morning, dealing with morning news and prophecy. They're gradually, rolling this thing out. Okay. And what I'm speaking of is the digital system. They're gradually, herding everyone, to this digital grid. All right. And one thing about this devil, he's able to make these things look appealing. Okay. He's able, through convenience. Okay. You gotta remember this man, the scripture called him a cunning hunter. All right. He knows how to hunt the souls of men. Okay. When it comes to psychology, the devil is heavily tapped in on the left-hand side. All right. To enchant the masses. And the only people that have been freed from those enchantments are the hopeful elect of Israel. Okay. Everyone else is subjugated to the devil's enchantments. Okay. So what we're going to see is how this devil is, gradually rolling this thing out and making it as if it's for the benefit of the people, as if he's, his intention when he comes out with this technology is for health, safety, convenience, productivity, etc., the usual spiel from this devil. Okay, and I want to start off here in the book of Proverbs 23. We get it often. Okay, so you go here into the book of Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 1, it says, when you sit down to dine with a ruler, consider carefully what is said before you. Okay, and Esau, Edom is this current ruler. Okay, so we have to really examine, be prudent in what's before us. Okay, because matter of fact, let's go here. The next, I think it's the next chapter over, Proverbs 22. Okay, and 3. It says, a prudent and far-sighted person sees the evil of sin and hides himself from it. Okay, and the spirit of Yahweh is what the spirit of prophecy, man. So as we understand prophecy, it makes us farsighted. So when the devil begins to roll these things out, we see this nigga and what he's really about and what he's trying to do. Okay, and helping the people has never been at the top of Esau's priority, man. Okay, being for the people's benefit has never been the top of this man's priority. Okay, he's been lying about it. Okay, but when you really go into the devil and how he moves and the system that he has set in place and the system he plans to bring, is never for the embetterment of people, man. Okay, and prophecy gives us the foresight, all right, to scope this devil out, man. Okay, so it says a prudent, back in Proverbs 22 and 3, it says a prudent and farsighted person sees the evil of sin and hides himself from it. But the naive continue on and are punished by suffering the consequences of sin, man. And people, simple, okay, the scriptures speak about the simple pass on and are punished. All right, and what we're going to see is the simple being prepped, okay, to be transitioned and herded into the digital system, which ultimately this man is gathering you into a great rebellion. Okay, Esau trying to pull off a great rebellion in the earth with this technology, man. Okay, and he's presented, okay, as the way. He's presenting this rebellion as the way to be, as an upgrade, as an enhancement. But it all goes back to a rebellion. It's a system of sin. This technology is a system of sin, okay, that the devil is trying to set up and establish in the earth. All right, he's gradually rolling this thing out. We're watching the devil day for day make a step toward that way. But it's a beautiful thing, because the closer he gets, to rolling this thing out, the closer he gets to his end. Okay. This Proverbs 23:2. It says, for you will put a knife to your throat if you are a man of great appetite. Yeah, you'll destroy yourself. This man has systems set up to where you can just destroy yourself with pleasure. If you got an appetite or drinking, you can destroy yourself with drinking here. Drugs, you got an appetite with drugs, you can destroy yourself. Food, you can destroy yourself. Okay? Sex, or any type of pleasure or lust, okay, that you can have an appetite for, and you have no restraint, you can kill yourself in this man's society, man. Okay, so if you're addicted to this man's technology, okay, you're going to destroy yourself by bending the knee to this technology, man. Okay, allowing this man to put a device in you is you bending your knee to this man's technology, man, which is going to be, all right, grounds of destruction, man. You're going to sign up for a missile if you take this man's technology, man. Okay, you take that MOTB, you're in a full agreement with their rebellion, and you're just signed up for the full wrath of Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai. Okay, so and that's why in this grace period, we've been commanded, okay, to tame the flesh, okay, to put the flesh in check, because overcoming this beast system begins with overcoming the flesh. Okay, the leverage that Esau has, okay, on the masses is that people are slaves to their flesh. Okay, but when you go into the book of Colossians, this is Colossians 3:5, it says, so put to death and deprive of power the evil longings of your earthly body. Okay, so this grace period was for us to tap into the spirit and put the flesh in subjection, man. Okay, of course, the flesh needs things, food, certain pleasures, but we do it according to righteousness, man, because there's a righteous way to enjoy pleasures, man. Pleasures are not wicked. Pleasures are not wicked in themselves. Okay, it's just a protocol for pleasure. It's moderation when it comes to pleasure. Okay, there are certain boundaries when it comes to pleasure. Okay, sex is not wicked, but sex with someone else's wife is wicked. Okay, drinking is not wicked, but drinking too much becomes wicked. Food is not wicked, but eating the wrong foods and eating too much is wicked. You see? So as we tap into the spirit, we begin to govern the flesh in righteousness, man. Okay, and this is what this grace period, this is a major part of this grace period, is for us to get the flesh in check, man. Okay, because as people worship this man's system, they worship this technology. People can't put the phone down for a second. They can't stop scrolling, they can't stop posting. They wake up to the phone, go to sleep to the phone. They have an appetite for this man's technology. And if you have an appetite for this man's technology, he's going to draw you into this shit, man. He's going to draw you fully into this rebellion. Okay? It says, so put to death and deprive the power, the evil longings of your earthly body with this sensual, self-centered instincts, immorality, impurity, sinful passion, evil desire, and greed, which is a kind of idolatry because it replaces your devotion to the Most High. Okay, and people worship this man's technology above the Most High in this society. People worship themselves above the Most High in this technology, man. You know, in this society. Okay, because they worship themselves through this technology. Okay, because they're able to create themselves as gods and goddesses on the internet. Okay, so self-worship, you know, is enhanced by this technology, man. Okay, which is idolatry. You know, but the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, you know, has called a remnant out of that darkness, man. So we're not taking, Lord, will we endure. Okay, verse 6, because of these sinful things, the divine wrath of the Most High is coming on the sons of disobedience, those who fail to listen and who routinely and obstinately disregard the Most High's precepts. Okay, there's a divine punishment coming to the earth, man. Okay, and Esau is herding people up just to be punished. In his mind, he's forwarding, okay, his new world order. Okay, in his mind, he's forwarding his new system, but all he's doing is reaping up judgment to himself. Okay, and he's gathering the masses, okay, to be judged with him. This is what we're seeing happening, you know, real time in the earth, man. This is what the devil is on. Okay, so let's go back to Proverbs 23. Okay, read a little bit more, and then we'll start segueing to these videos. It's Proverbs 23 and 2 again. It says, "For you will put a knife to your throat if you are a man of great appetite. Do not desire his delicacies, for it is deceptive food offered to you with questionable motives, man." Okay, because this devil, like I say, he has mastered, you know, presenting self-destruction as him helping you. Okay, he presents, okay, people's destruction as if he's helping them, man. And he's mastered how to make destruction and death, chaos and dysfunction. He's managed to make that seem appealing. That's why he's more crafty than any beast of the field than any other nation. Okay, the way that he's able to dress up and make light of wickedness. Because people don't look at what they're doing as rebelling to the Most High. They're looking at humanity as transcendent. They don't look at what they're doing as great rebellion. And there's a wrath to come for that. There's a judgment that's coming for that, man. Okay? So he presents all these things, but it's with questionable motives, man. Okay? And it's not for your benefit. Okay? With this technology also, he wants to turn the earth to a big science lab for transhumanism, because he wants to tap into immortality through technology. Okay? And he wants to use the people to experiment on. This is what the devil is rolling out. So let's read verse 6 and we'll segue. He says, "Do not eat the bread of a selfish man or desire his delicacies." Okay? So people desire his delicacies, which his technology is one of his delicacies, man. You know, this is one of the things because, you know, people are comforted by this man's technology because delicacies are known as what? Comfort food. Okay, it's a thing that heightens your, you know, it rewards your and your dopamine system. This man's technology does the same thing. It sends that constant stimulation to the dopamine system. Okay, just like delicacies would. You know, so this devil, he's going to present, you know, this technology, this new way, this new system as a delicacy. Now, he's not going to tell you that this is digital enslavement. He's not going to tell you that part. Okay, but he knows how to dress it up and make it appealing. So let's go here, play this first video. All right, as we know, they've been talking about the 6G, okay, because they need their computing power, okay, for this new world order system, okay. So they're, cranking out and rolling out the 6G. Okay, so let's play this. And like I said, you can tell, like I say, Trump ain't lively like he used to be.
So we're into 6G now. I just 5G. I was a leader on 5G getting that done. And now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? See how perfect that is? I like the cameras the old days. So they just had a nice feature. Now they cover every little. Let's see, Michael, you're in good shape. You're not going to. But I tell you, it's the 6 is coming, huh?
About 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface.
Wow.
Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
When I started this job, they were actually very little countries.
Their cell phones will be obsolete, and they're pushing for 2030. And made the lower speed of the time. Okay, but they're pushing, for 2030. Cell phones being obsolete and technology is being in your body. Okay, so this man, he's gradually rolling this thing out. Okay.
In Africa or Latin America that had one ubiquitous type of ID, and certainly that it was digital, and certainly that was biometric. And we've really worked with all our partners to actually help that being, to grow this. And the interesting part of it is that, yes, it is very necessary for financial services, but not only.
Sure.
It's also good for school enrollment. It's also good for health, who actually got a vaccination or not. It's very good to get your subsidies, from the government.
Details tonight on what Wegmans does with its biometric data of shoppers. Signs at the Brooklyn and Manhattan stores say facial recognition, eye scans, and voice prints are used and kept to increase security. But when Wegmans originally launched a pilot program, management said any data of shoppers would be deleted. Some customers complained the policy makes them feel uneasy. Legislation in the city council to block biometric storage has stalled for years.
Taking customer surveillance to a whole new level. There's a store here in New York City. It's called Wegmans. I'd never heard of it in South Carolina, but I shop there now. Warning shoppers of technology collecting, storing, and even sharing biometric data, such as facial recognition and eye scans. Kurt, the cyber guy, joins us now. Okay, Kurt, they're doing this so that they can recognize if you're a terrorist or if you've committed a crime. They know which customers to watch.
Weissman says Wegmans is not the first business to collect biometric data, while others like Walmart already drawing legal action against its biometric policies, and Rite Aid receiving a federal ban. Responding to Wegmans' claims they're using the data to enhance security at its stores, Weissman says the real concern doesn't rest with Wegmans' use of the data, rather the storage of it and the risk of bad actors getting hold of it through a cyber attack.
Visualize yourself at the end of the year. Where do you want to be? So this is how I use Claude to help me think differently.
The primary concern is when a retailer collects biometric data on its customers. What is it doing to protect the data? These are companies that don't specialize in cybersecurity or outsource their cybersecurity. And as we know, it's not a matter of if a company will be breached, it's a matter of when.
Now, given that the future of how biometric data collection will evolve is unknown, we asked Senator Jeremy Cooney earlier today if there are any plans to regulate the use of the information gathered by it, to which he said a law addressing this is on his radar.
If this is about keeping people safe when they're buying milk and bread, that's a good thing. But we want to make sure that we have the policies and the regulations in play so that all New Yorkers feel safe when they walk into any public setting, whether it's a grocery store, whether it's a bank, whether it's a private business. We want to make sure that people feel safe and that their information and their privacy is being withheld.
But legally,
And he said everywhere, the grocery store, the bank, let you know that they're going to roll out, this surveillance state. Okay, and everywhere you go, you're going to be identified, tracked. Okay, your patterns. Okay, and it's all going to a digital database. And it's going to be stored forever, man. You got to be out your goddamn mind. You think Esau going to delete any data, man? Because, through data, this is how the devil is able to train his AI. And that's priceless to this devil. Because AI is this is his golden project. Okay? So you're going to see these things more frequent. They're going to begin at the grocery stores. You're going to have to be identified to shop, identified to get on the internet. Okay? Why do you think they pushing for these smart cars, man? They'll be identified to drive. So they're gradually rolling these things out. Okay, you'll see a grocery store here. This grocery store franchise, then this grocery store franchise. Because see, these businesses are able to participate in this new system. They gotta get down, okay, with the system, man. Okay, they gotta start to incorporate this beast system into their business, man. Okay, they have to be willing to participate in this digital infrastructure, man. Okay, these little mom and pops and cash and these little local friendly businesses. Nah, man, it's gonna be a few retail chains that's allowed to operate in this new world order, man, and they're all gonna be linked to the digital infrastructure. Okay, the cameras at this grocery store, okay, are gonna be linked to the cameras that's at the bank. The cameras at the bank is gonna be linked to the cameras, okay, that's at the NBA game. Okay, so forth and so on. Okay, the cameras at the park, at your apartment, whatever. It's all going to be linked to a digital system of constant surveillance, tracking, monitoring, okay, scoring, the social credit score. Okay, what you buy, how you buy, all these things are going to be a part of a system of complete control. Okay, but they're rolling it out as convenience.
They don't
really
have to tell
loss
you,
prevention,
right?
Let's be honest. It's about their bottom line. That's why they're doing it.
Okay, so tell us
And I
more about it.
interrupted you, I'm sorry,
No,
but-
that's okay. Why do they do it? Do they have to have our permission? Can they share it?
Ainsley, good morning. So some places do need your permission. New York City is one of them, but more weirdness out of New York. There are only about 4 other states in the country that require companies like this to let you know that they're collecting your biometric data. And that means you're going to be walking into stores without any protection. You won't have any idea whether your face, your eyes, or possibly even your voice is being collected as you simply go grocery shopping. It's a new trend for loss protection. And to really understand how we're shopping in the stores, they're going to use all kinds of ways to justify their Big Brother activity. But privacy experts here warning this really shouldn't be normalized for the kind of surveillance that it's doing. And the biggest question is, what happens to that data? Who's got it? Who owns that? Who's storing it? How do we know that's safe? Of course it's not safe. These companies lose data constantly. So if you're in Texas, Washington, state of California, and Illinois, you're in luck. At least they have to post that sign outside that says, Ainsley, hey, welcome in. We're going to be recording your biometric data. Now, if I saw that at my grocery store, here's what I would do. I would vote with my wallet. I'd be like, no, thanks. I'm going next door. I'm going to the other grocery store. I don't care if it's worse, because I'm not going to let you do that to me. I'm voting my wallet, period.
Okay, here's the statement from the store. It's only in a few of their stores. It says, in a small fraction of our stores that exhibit an elevated risk, we have developed cameras equipped with facial recognition technology. This technology is solely used for keeping our stores secure and safe. The system collects facial recognition data and only uses it to identify individuals who have been previously flagged for misconduct. Kurt, will we start seeing this in other stores around the country?
Yes, you will. So keep your eyes open for that.
They are taking some new steps tonight to make sure that shoppers aren't kept in the dark when facial recognition technology is being used in stores. Now, this all push comes after a New York City Wegmans posted notices outside of its doors alerting customers about the use of biometric data collection. 20 Side's Alyssa Clausell has that story.
Smart founders know something most people miss. Get your domain name even if you're not ready to launch your business. With
most everybody is saying that it's creepy. Other people are saying that it's happening all the time. What's one more?
Western New York lawmakers say they're hearing from concerned constituents after a Wegmans store in New York City posted signs alerting customers that biometric data may be used.
And I was certainly surprised. I think without that law in New York City that requires signage to be posted, we wouldn't have known about it.
Biometric data is more than just surveillance cameras. According to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, biometric data is information about your physical features like your face or your fingerprints. It could be used to identify you.
We agree to it. Every time we open up something on the internet, we have a right to say yes or no.
But the technology is already used in some everyday situations, including at airports and at the Canadian border. And commercially, retailers like Walmart say they also use biometric information.
Wegmans is a great store, and it's a great part of Western New York. And but I think that it's just for people's own, feeling of security.
Right now, there is no state or local law requiring stores in Western New York to notify shoppers when biometric technology is in use. But Erie County legislator Lindsay Larigo says she's working to change that.
So I'm currently working on a local law that would require if a business or an entity is using, biometric scanning and collecting that data, that they would at least need to post signage to make customers aware, just like they're doing in New York City.
In response to these concerns, a spokesperson for Wegmans told Two on Your Side, in part, quote, "This technology is solely used for keeping our stores secure and safe. The system collects facial recognition data and only uses it to identify individuals who have been previously flagged for misconduct. We do not collect other biometric data such as retinal scans or voice prints."
And there you have it. So they're rolling it out, and if we're just hearing about it, I mean, they've been doing it, because every state doesn't have, the same laws where you have to be notified, that you're, all right, your biometrics, okay, are being taken, as you come into the store, okay? And then, you have these little local officials, that try to fight, all right, against, certain laws and certain data gathering. But see, it's beyond that, okay? You're not fighting against Wegman, the grocery store. No, this is the system of the elites that's being rolled out, okay? And these different businesses, they got to comply, okay? They got to comply, all right? This ain't the thing of an option. No, you got to comply to participate. Because, see, the people are going to be the last phase, okay, of having to comply to this system. Businesses are going to have to comply before the people, okay? So we're going to see these businesses, if they want to continue on and operate, all right, if they're given the opportunity to allow, all right, to be allowed to operate this new system, they're going to have to come in. Okay, they're going to have to come on in. They're going to have to fully bend the knee and submit to this new world order system, the digital system, okay, and transition, okay, onto this digital technology, man. They're going to have to be a part of this DPI, okay? They want to operate in these smart cities. They're going to be integrated with the DPI, the digital public infrastructure, man, okay? Matter of fact, let's go. I got another video I want to get into, but before that, let's go here. Let's go here because it's all about control. Okay, the devil, he wants to be, like I say, we went into it before. He wants to be omnipresent. He wants to be everywhere at the same time, and he thinks through AI and cameras that he can achieve omnipotent status like the Most High. Okay, which is a foolish ass idea, stupid. What the devil is doing, man. Okay, it says Ezekiel 28:6. It said, "Therefore, thus said the Lord power, because you have imagined your mind to be like the mind of the Most High, having thoughts and plans like the Most High. Okay, you have to understand this devil is bugged out and crashing out and destroying himself trying to be the Most High. Okay, and it's going to be an extremely tacky transition to this New World Order system, man. Okay, and this devil is preoccupied with trying to pull this off, man. He's wearied in his counsel. Okay, but in his mind, if he can get, everyone on this digital grid, these cameras set up, okay, all these stores in compliance, all the people in compliance with this digital system, okay, in his mind, he thinks that he's on to something. He thinks that he's right there at the door. Okay. Well, now he's just working his way to being punished, man. Okay, the Lord's going to stop this man in the midst of everything that he's doing. Okay, so we getting to the point where enough is enough. Okay, and the Lord's getting ready to respond to this man. All right, so let's go here to this one. So this is what Amazon is doing. Amazon's at the forefront. All right, which remember, Jeff Bezos is the son, okay, of this Edomite that was a part of DARPA. All right, which is DARPA goes into the branch of government that's responsible for the technology of Esau's military. Okay, and the technology of Esau's society. Okay, so you see Amazon is at the forefront because Amazon is nothing but a branch of DARPA. Okay, disguised as this retail and delivery company. Okay, but it's ultimately DARPA, and it's at the forefront of conditioning people for this new world order with what convenience. All right, so now you have these Amazon shopping cart, what they call smart carts. All right, and this guy's going to go around shopping with these smart carts. So let's see how these smart carts work, and then we're going to get the responses of the people to show that they're ready for the taking. If brother can go ahead and post it with signs and lying wonders, deceiving the elect. I believe that's Matthew 24, and also 2 Ezra 5 verses 1 and 2. Okay, but I'm gonna play this.
What's going on? Rich Jamiro here, Rich on Tech. This is the new Amazon Dash Cart that is at the Amazon Fresh Store in Woodland Hills. This is a really cool piece of technology because it allows you to self-checkout as you shop in the store. So you can see they've got some cameras and lights to recognize what you put in there. They give you a few bags, and it also has a weight sensor in there, so you can put in stuff like produce. And this is your screen that will tell you what you've just put in the cart, got a little place for your drink, and also your Alexa shopping list. So that makes it easy to add stuff at home and then find it in the store. And this is where you scan your phone to get started. So here's how it works. You find something on the shelf, and by the way, all of the price tags at this store are digital, which is really cool. So there's the store. So let's say we want to buy some tuna fish, and you put it into the cart. Oh, it already found it. You see that? So these cameras are pretty good at seeing stuff very quickly, and you just put it in there, and boom, you've got it. So it says $2.59, and I've got a little running subtotal of what I'm purchasing, which is really cool. There's your meats over there, some seafood there. And let's try something else, because now at this store there's a mix of traditional brands and also organic stuff, and a lot of Amazon products as well. So something like this Donut Cafe. And so if I just put this here, oh, look at that, I already found it. You hear that little sound? And we should try taking something out of the cart and seeing what happens then. So here's some cereals. Let's try little mini frosted wheats. So put these $3.64, and there it goes. It's almost too fast. It recognizes these things very quickly. So now let's say, okay, you know what? I decided, I'm not gonna get these. Let's see what happens. So if I take this out of the cart, it now says, oh, quantity of one removed. And again, one of the neatest things about this is that you've got this subtotal here that lets you see exactly how much you're spending as you go through the store. So if you're anything like me and you're spending a lot more than you think sometimes when you go into the store, this will help you stay on task. So a couple other looks at this store. They've got, it's kind of like a mix of a Whole Foods and a traditional grocery store. So you've got your regular brands here. And again, like I said, you've got a lot of Amazon brands. So right next to the bubbly, you've got the Happy Belly lime sparkling water. And of course, you've got the Coke brands, you've got 365 brands, so a lot of those as well. And let's see. This kind of reminds me of a dairy case at a Whole Foods. And some other things that are interesting is in this Woodland Hills store, they do have beer and wine. So, and alcohol, I guess I should say too. I'm now going the wrong way, so I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna back in here. And let's see what happens now if you try to buy some liquor, because this is something, well, this has like a security thing on it, so I don't think that would work. So let's see what happens when we put this in here. Age restricted. ID will be checked at the dash cart lane. Okay, well, I'm gonna take that out. So let's put that in there, and I'm gonna take this out. See if it notices. Yep, okay. So removed, done. So big selection there. And also ask Alexa. They've got a whole bunch of these Alexa devices around the store, so you can ask questions. And another big thing about this place is the prepared foods. So they've got a full deli, sandwiches, stuff you can just kind of grab and go, all from Amazon Kitchen, made here, $5.99 for a sandwich. And let me give you a better look at this cart right there. So this is pretty hefty cart. You can't take these out of the store, by the way. And there's hygiene stations everywhere. Other thing they advertise, pizza for $1.79. Fresh baked bread. I saw bread for 89 cents. There it is. What do you think of this thing? Pretty cool, huh?
Do you work here?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not working. Uh-oh, you need help. French bread, 89 cents. Let's see, how would it recognize bread? This doesn't, does this have, oh, it does. Okay. So it does have a thing on it. Let's see, ready? Oh, yeah. It's too fast. You're too fast, cart. $9.47. And then, oh yeah, there is one more thing to show you. Over here, they do have a selection of some Amazon items. So they call it the Best of Amazon up there. And so there are just a couple things, not a whole lot of stuff, but they do have all the Amazon devices for sale here too. So you can get those. Drinks galore, and with this, you can just, oh, they've got pickup as well. So if you want to pick up stuff from your Amazon account. And here are the checkout lanes. So you can use a traditional cashier, or this is the dash lane right here. So here's the dash lane. And all you have to do for the dash lane is literally, once you bring this into that green area, it's going to check you out, send a receipt to your email, and you are done. Pretty cool stuff. All right, thanks so much for watching. Rich DeMuro here, richontech.tv. If you have it.
Yeah, man. So how many people are going to be in awe with it? Okay. The convenience, it ring you up as you go. Okay. You got the dash lane where you can just walk straight out. Okay. So it's scanning as you go, and everyone's in a rush, everyone's in a rush for time. Okay. Everyone's impatient, because one thing this technology has done, it has damaged, the neurological system of the masses to where they're just extremely impatient. Okay. And this devil fills their void of impatience with just more convenient and faster technology, man. Okay. And it's all hurting people into this new system. Okay. And then as soon as you go to it, All right. It says, I love it. Hate wasting time standing at cashier. Sometimes it's so busy and there's only one cashier working. Okay. It says, your move, Walmart. All right. So they're telling that they're requesting this technology be brought to Walmart. Okay. People, a lot of people are going to voluntarily, okay, get on board with this new world order system. Okay. Then it's going to be a point of, you're going to have it, or it's going to be very inconvenient for you not to have it. And then they're going to come out with the sword. Okay. So it's a lot of people that's going to voluntarily get on board with this technology, man. Okay. And the American people are already, conditioned to accept this. And American people are super dumb. Okay. This is the dumbest, least informed population on the planet Earth. The most detached population, all right, from reality is the American public, man. Okay, so technology is advancing quicker than when we realize. All right. Can you also show how the systems work with vegetables or fruits that needs to be weighed? Okay, so they're inquiring about this. They're worshiping the beast. Okay, they're worshiping the image of the beast. You see, they're in awe at these wonders. Okay, these signs. Okay, it said very interesting, but really makes you think about certain things while being a customer. Thanks for sharing. Okay, it said, dude, you didn't show how to take the bag out. Most important, and they're excited about it for the most part. These people are excited about this technology. You see, no more rude cashier, brilliant. Be Eve at the counter. All right, don't even look at your ass. You looking all past your goddamn head. Don't speak or nothing. Like, goddamn. You see, so people are excited to get rid of Eve and all right, the cashier. It says, sounds cool since it's going to work perfectly every single time. No glitches, no hackers sign me up. It said, looks so amazing. I hope we have one in Massachusetts. Wanted to see you go through the checkout, so you don't have to deal with cashiers. That's a bonus for me. Yep. So these people are just, worshiping the image of the beast, man. They're ready for the taking. A lot of people. Okay. A lot of people are prepped, okay, to take this technology and look at this as something great. Okay. So let's, so if you are already a slave to this man's technology, you worship this man's technology, okay, well, this is gonna woo you. Okay. Let's go into this, brother Yashima tribe of Judah, Matthew 24:24. For there shall arise false prophets, okay, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Okay. So the devil is going to continue to roll out this technology. People are going to, be in awe. People are going to continue to worship, these lying wonders. Okay, he's going to present this as the way. Okay, it's a false prophet. Esau is the biggest false prophet. Okay, Esau and his science and his technology and his philosophies, and the way the planet is heading, the way everything is headed. People are going to transcend. And this man, he's the biggest liar on the earth, man. Okay, so this devil, he's going to present this technology as the way of the future. He's telling you the future is going to be utopian. He's not telling you that this is your digital enslavement. Okay, he's giving you a false, okay, he's giving you a false, all right, perception of what the future entails. Okay, And you dumb Americans are gonna march right into this thing. You know, like Elder Ariella spoke about it in the live stream at camp yesterday in Dallas. You know, about how dumb the American people are. And they're right for the taking. Most people that take the MOTB, it's going to be a major percentage of the people that take the mark of the beast. It's going to be voluntarily. Okay? Because people, all right, are enchanted by these lying wonders, man. Okay? People believe that AI, you know, is a living soul, is an actual, okay, entity. People worship AI like it's an actual God. You got AI churches, man. Okay? So this man, you know, as the scriptures say, he's more crafty than any, he's more subtle than any beast of the field. This devil has presented people's enslavement as utopia. Okay? And say if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect, man, showing you that this man is going to bring out all stops as he's herding people onto this grid. Because remember, he got to hurry up and get this thing going before Yahweh Shai come back. His thing is, if he can beat the clock of the coming of Yahweh Shai, he can win. Okay? That's his man's objective, man. So prepare, you know, for him to begin to be very frantic. Okay, so he can begin to make leaps and bounds towards this new world order because he's able to do the most. He's able to make the most progress in crisis. Okay, so prepare for crisis to increase in 2026 so he can make more progress. Because 2020 he made major progress towards his digital system. Okay, so 2026 prepare for this man to push more crisis so he can make those leaps and bounds in progress towards this system, man. You know, because his main thing, he need them cameras set up. Okay, you look at how China camera system is set up, which is a model, okay, for what they want to do in America, because it's the elites that set up China. Okay, now biblically we know eventually they're gonna go to war, they're gonna clash. Okay, they agree to a point. Okay, so they rolled this thing out in China as a model, and now they got to get America. And that's why Trump looks so, you know, weary and burnt out, because America is going to be the hardest place to push this new world order as a whole, because it's going to be resistance. You're going to have a lot of people volunteer, but then there's going to be resistance as well. It's going to be an armed resistance. Okay, so Trump is a distraction while the elites dismantle the American system by weakening the dollar, causing civil unrest. Okay, and ultimately they're going to roll out the sword. Okay, and out of all the countries on the earth, you know, that's why I say Trump, you know, is looking so fatigued because he has the hardest task. Okay, with breaking America down to make it fit into this new world order system, man. Okay, but as things, you know, as the elites continue to put the squeeze on this place, more and more people are going to fold. Even those that put up a little resistance, eventually they're going to fold. If you're not of the remnant of Israel, if you're not written in the book of life, you're going to fold. You know, I believe that's Revelation 13. We probably ended on there. Revelation 13. Yeah, let's get Revelation 13 and 8, Bible Shah. Okay. Well, let's read this. It says, 2nd Esdras 5 and 1, it said, nevertheless, as coming the tokens, all right, or the signs. Okay, and we're seeing the signs of the devil getting ready to roll this thing out. He's gradually rolling it out. Okay. I say airports dealing with facial recognition, biometrics. Everything is going to facial recognition because he's getting ready to onboard people to this digital system. That's why digital ID could be a heavy thing this year. Okay, and how and in the crisis, you know, he can cause these attacks to ramp up, you know, because he's airstriking everyone. So he's already setting the play to blame Venezuela, Iran, China, you know, for cyber attacks or, you know, false flag events or, you know, domestic, T attacks. Okay, and what is he going to push for? All right, more surveillance. Okay, and that surveillance he wants to link to what? A digital ID. Okay, just as you needed the juice, you needed your pass to get into some grocery stores back during the pandemic. Okay, well, he's finna come at it again, man. Because the demic, he went at it, then he bagged off. Okay, and you can tell the devil, you tell by the signs, the token, he's getting ready to come at this thing again. Okay, it says, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Okay, so these people are going to be taken in great numbers, man. Whether they're unalive during the depopulation, okay, or they're herded into this new world order system, man. But the people are getting ready to be taken in great number, and the Lord's going to remove the prophets, man. And the only narrative you people are going to have is this devil giving you instructions in the midst of crisis, man, in the midst of chaos. Okay, and the land gonna be bearing the faith, man, because you trust in this current system continually being up and running. So when they dismantle this thing, okay, you people are just gonna bug out, spiral out of control, and you people are gonna be begging for the sea help. The majority of the people that get this sea help is gonna be voluntarily, man. Okay, it says, but iniquity shall, verse 2 said, but iniquity shall be increased above that which thou now seest, and that thou heardest long ago. Because this place is going to get more wicked, more anti-Messiah. Okay, it's going to get more violent. You see, these things are going to become the norm. Okay, as this devil rolls this thing out because he wants order out of chaos. Okay, so let's get this here, and we'll end it here. This is the book of Revelation 13:8. It says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Okay, so everyone outside of the remnant of Israel, those that are written in the book of life, those that are predestined to get the victory over this beast, okay, are going to worship this man in this system, man. So if you're not predestined to have a victory, okay, over this man's beast, his mark, his image, okay, and you're not predestined to have the victory over that, your subject ain't to be taken by it, man. Okay, so these are the times, this is what's before us, man. Okay, and as we see this devil every day, he does something, okay, that's implementing his new world order. Okay, every day he doing something, man. Okay, because he know he have but a short time. All right, so that was the point. Just wanted to get into that. Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you sisters edified once again. I'm gonna give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.